The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority spent over $1 billion on tourism marketing last year. $1 billion on advertising, on celebrity partnerships, on sports sponsorships, on social media campaigns, on billboard placements in airports across North America and Europe and Asia, on influencer trips and press junkets and sponsored content packages and the algorithmic promotion of a specific, carefully curated image of Las Vegas that is pushed into the feeds and the browsers and the consciousness of hundreds of millions of potential visitors every single day. $1 billion to tell the world that Las Vegas is alive, that Las Vegas is exciting, that Las Vegas is the place where the greatest entertainment on earth is happening right now, and you are missing it? That the lights are on, and the tables are full, and the drinks are flowing, and the city is waiting for you with the same open-armed, generous, player-first hospitality that built its reputation over 6 decades of American leisure culture. $1 billion to sell a product, and the product does not exist. The Las Vegas that the LVCVA is selling, the Las Vegas of the marketing materials and the television spots and the social media campaigns and the partnership activations with the NFL and Formula 1 and the UFC, is not the Las Vegas that you will find if you book a flight and a hotel room and walk through the doors of a casino on the Strip. The Las Vegas being sold in the advertising is the Las Vegas that existed in 2005. It is the Las Vegas of $5 blackjack and free parking and genuine comp programs and cocktail servers who brought you a drink because you were a guest rather than because a censor approved your coin-in rate. It is the Las Vegas of a handshake deal between the casino and the player, a deal that said, "We will take care of you if you bring us your action," a deal that built the most powerful and most profitable entertainment brand in the history of American travel. That Las Vegas is being advertised every single day, on every platform, in every market, to every potential visitor who might be persuaded to book a trip. And the visitor who books that trip and arrives expecting that Las Vegas will find something else entirely. They will find resort fees. They will find 6 to 5 blackjack. They will find no hot water in the Flamingo. They will find a $250 minimum to sit in a sports book. They will find the gap between the brand and the reality that is the defining characteristic of what Las Vegas has become. And they will go home and they will tell their friends, and their friends will not book the trip, and the tourism numbers will fall another 7.5%. And the LVCVA will respond by spending more money on advertising to reach the next wave of people who have not yet discovered that the product being advertised is not the product being delivered. This is the most expensive marketing problem in the history of American tourism, and it cannot be solved by marketing. Understanding why requires understanding what the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority actually is and how it is funded. The LVCVA is a quasi-governmental organization, technically a public entity, funded primarily through a room tax levied on hotel stays in Clark County. Every time a visitor pays for a hotel room in Las Vegas, a portion of that payment goes directly to the LVCVA to fund its marketing operations. This means that the same visitors who are being charged resort fees and parking fees and minibar fees and every other extraction mechanism that the Strip has developed over the last 15 years are also, through their room tax payments, funding the advertising campaign that persuaded them to come to Las Vegas in the first place. The visitor is paying for the marketing that brought them to a product that disappointed them, and they will pay for it again on the next trip that someone else takes based on that same marketing. And the cycle continues regardless of whether the product being marketed improves, because the marketing budget is not conditional on customer satisfaction. It is conditional only on room occupancy, and as long as rooms are being occupied, the tax is being paid, and the LVCVA is spending it on advertising. The genius of this structure, from the casino corporation's perspective, is that it allows them to externalize the cost of maintaining their brand reputation. MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment do not have to spend their own capital on convincing new visitors to come to Las Vegas. The LVCVA does that for them, funded by the room tax that the visitors themselves pay. MGM and Caesars can redirect their capital towards share repurchases and debt service, and the other financial priorities that their ownership structures demand, Secure in the knowledge that the billion-dollar marketing machine of the LVCVA will continue to replenish their customer base with new visitors who have not yet been disappointed by the product. The marketing cost is socialized, the revenue is privatized, the visitor pays for their own acquisition. The specific campaigns that the LVCVA has run over the last several years are worth examining in detail because they reveal the precise nature of the disconnect between what is being sold and what is being delivered. The What Happens Here Stays Here campaign, which launched in 2003 and which became one of the most recognized advertising slogans in the history of American marketing, was built on a specific emotional proposition. Las Vegas as a space of freedom, of liberation from the constraints of ordinary life, of the permission to be a version of yourself that your regular existence does not accommodate. The campaign worked because in 2003 the proposition was real. You could go to Las Vegas, spend a weekend gambling and eating and drinking at prices that felt like a deal relative to what the experience was worth, and come home having genuinely experienced something that your normal life did not offer. The freedom was real because the price of the freedom was reasonable. The permission felt genuine because the city was structured to make you feel welcome rather than to make you feel extracted. The same slogan applied to the Las Vegas of 2026 is selling something different. What happens here stays here when you are paying a $45 resort fee for a room with no hot water and a broken door latch is not liberation. It is a transaction that went badly, happening in a place that made it difficult for you to leave until the transaction was complete. The freedom that the campaign sells is the freedom of a city that wanted you there for your own sake. The freedom that the current product delivers is the freedom of a customer in a system that wants you there for your money. Those are different freedoms, and only one of them is worth advertising. The campaign budget cannot fix the difference because the difference is in the product, not in the messaging. The Formula 1 Las Vegas Grand Prix, which the LVCVA supported with significant resources and which became a central element of the city's marketing narrative for 2023 and 2024, is the most expensive and most visible example of the marketing product gap in recent Las Vegas history. The decision to bring Formula 1 to Las Vegas was a marketing decision, an attempt to associate the Las Vegas brand with the global, prestige, aspirational audience of Formula 1 viewership, and to use that association to attract a demographic of high-spending international visitors who had not previously considered Las Vegas as a destination. The race was marketed as a transformational event, as proof that Las Vegas was still capable of hosting the world's most glamorous and sophisticated sporting spectacle, as evidence that the city remained at the absolute frontier of premium entertainment globally. The reality of the first Las Vegas Grand Prix in November 2023 was something considerably more complicated. Thousands of visitors who had paid premium prices for grandstand seats and hospitality packages arrived to find that the race did not start until after 1 in the morning local time, a scheduling decision made to accommodate European television broadcast windows that was not adequately communicated to the Las Vegas-based ticket buyers. Residents of the neighborhoods adjacent to the track endured months of construction disruption. A drain cover on the circuit damaged Carlos Sainz's Ferrari in the opening practice session and forced a delay that further compressed the already late-night schedule. The hotel room rates during Grand Prix weekend reached levels that even by Las Vegas standards were extraordinary, with standard strip rooms going for thousands of dollars per night on the basis of the event's premium positioning. The visitors who paid those rates for the privilege of being in Las Vegas during the Grand Prix received the Grand Prix experience alongside the standard Las Vegas experience of resort fees and overpriced food, and the baseline indignity of being treated as a revenue unit rather than a guest. Several large hospitality purchasers who had acquired expensive packages for the first Grand Prix publicly declined to renew for the second year, citing the mismatch between the premium pricing and the actual quality of the experience. The NFL's relocation of the Raiders to Las Vegas, which was completed in 2020 with the opening of Allegiant Stadium, was another marketing achievement of genuine significance. Las Vegas became an NFL city, which represented a legitimization of the destination as a major American sports and cultural center rather than a niche gambling resort. The Super Bowl was played in Las Vegas in February 2024, generating enormous global media attention and putting the city's hotels and casinos in front of an audience of hundreds of millions of football viewers worldwide. The LVCVA's marketing apparatus used both the Raiders' relocation and the Super Bowl extensively, as evidence that Las Vegas had evolved beyond its gambling origins into a genuine world-class city capable of hosting the most prestigious events in American sport. The marketing was effective. It reached the right audiences. It generated bookings and hotel revenue and tourism activity. It brought people to Las Vegas who would not otherwise have come. And those people, when they arrived, found the Las Vegas that exists rather than the Las Vegas that the advertising had sold them. The Super Bowl visitor who paid $1,400 for a hotel room and discovered a $45 resort fee on top of it, who found that the sportsbook required a $250 minimum spend to watch the game in person, who ate a $60 steak at a franchise restaurant operated under a celebrity chef's name by a corporate food service company, who tried to tip their dealer a chip and was reminded that the casino had gone cashless and chips were not transferable in that way, who went to bed in a room that smelled of previous guests' cigarettes and woke up to find a minibar charge on their folio for water they never touched, did not have the Super Bowl experience that the marketing had promised them. They had the Las Vegas experience as it currently exists. And the gap between the two experiences is a marketing problem that no advertising budget can close, because the problem is the product. The celebrity partnership strategy that the LVCVA and the major casino brands have pursued over the last decade is the most psychologically sophisticated element of the marketing apparatus because it uses borrowed social capital to paper over the product quality gap. When a globally recognized celebrity appears in a Las Vegas tourism campaign, they are lending their personal brand, their perceived authenticity, their implied endorsement of the experience being sold. The viewer does not consciously think that the celebrity has vetted the resort fee structure or personally evaluated whether the blackjack odds are fair. They think that someone whose judgment and taste they respect has found something worth recommending in Las Vegas. The celebrity endorsement is doing the work of quality assurance, substituting social proof for actual product experience, and it works precisely because the viewer's exposure to the celebrity is so much more extensive and emotionally resonant than their last personal experience of staying at a Las Vegas hotel with a broken door latch. The marketing is more vivid than the memory, until the next trip, when the memory of the current experience replaces the marketing image, and the cycle of disappointment begins again. The international marketing situation is the most acute and most immediately consequential version of the product marketing gap, because it involves audiences whose disillusionment, once established, is most difficult to reverse. The Canadian market, which has historically represented approximately 30% of Las Vegas's international visitor base, has been the subject of intensive LVCVA marketing investment for decades. The What Happens Here campaign ran in Canadian markets. The celebrity partnerships were selected partly for their Canadian resonance. The Super Bowl marketing was extensively promoted through Canadian sports media. And in 2025, when the diplomatic relationship between the United States and Canada deteriorated significantly over trade and border policy, and when Canadian consumers made a collective, documented decision to reduce their travel to the United States, the LVCVA and the Las Vegas mayor went directly to Canadian media to appeal for the return of Canadian visitors. The mayor's appeal was nationally covered. It was also nationally mocked, because the Canadians who had been to Las Vegas recently, who had paid the resort fees and the parking fees and the 6 to 5 blackjack and had received the service quality of a city that had decided their loyalty was a cost center rather than an asset, had already made the calculation that the price being charged for the experience was not justified by the experience being delivered. The political moment gave them permission to act on that calculation. The marketing could not overcome it because the marketing was asking them to return to a product that had already disappointed them, and no celebrity endorsement or Super Bowl association or billion-dollar advertising budget changes the lived experience of a guest who was charged $40 to look at a condom in the Harrah's minibar. The domestic marketing situation is slower moving but heading in the same direction. The middle-class American gambler, the demographic that built Las Vegas across the decades of its greatest commercial success, the person who saved up for a Vegas trip 3 times a year and considered it the specific, irreplaceable entertainment experience that their life included, has been quietly, incrementally, and in significant numbers deciding that the trip is no longer worth the price. The LVCVA's marketing continues to reach this demographic. The campaigns continue to land in their feeds and their browsers and their inbox. But the response rate to those campaigns, the conversion from marketing exposure to booked trip, has been declining because the person who receives a Las Vegas advertisement in 2026 has often been to Las Vegas recently enough that the advertisement competes with a recent memory. And the recent memory contains resort fees and bad odds and a floor that was quieter than it used to be and a host who was harder to reach and a comp that was smaller than it should have been for the level of play they brought. The marketing is fighting the product. The marketing has $1 billion. The product has been accumulating grievances for 15 years. The product is winning. The fundamental dishonesty of the Las Vegas marketing apparatus is not the dishonesty of outright lying. The advertisements do not claim that resort fees do not exist, or that the blackjack pays 3 to 2 on the main floor, or that the hot water will be working in your room. They simply do not mention those things. They show the lights and the energy and the spectacle and the sense of possibility that Las Vegas generates from a certain distance and in certain moments. They show the Bellagio fountains and the Sphere's exterior and the Formula One cars on the Strip and the celebrity residencies and the championship boxing matches and the NCAA tournament games. They show the container. They do not show what has happened to the contents of the container. The marketing is built entirely on the residual, visual, and cultural power of the Las Vegas brand. A brand that was built by decades of a fundamentally different product, and it is using that brand equity to sell a current product that does not deserve the brand. The brand is financing the gap. And brand equity, like any finite resource, depletes when it is drawn upon without being replenished. The depletion is visible in the data. Visitor numbers fell 7.5% in 2025. Las Vegas air traffic fell for 10 consecutive months. The LVCVA's own research, which it publishes quarterly and which is available to anyone willing to read a government agency's public reporting, shows declining visitor satisfaction scores on multiple dimensions of the Las Vegas experience, including value for money, quality of hotel accommodations, friendliness of casino staff, and likelihood to recommend. Likelihood to recommend is the most important metric in the tourism marketing landscape because it measures the effectiveness of word of mouth, which is the most powerful and least expensive form of tourism marketing available. When likelihood to recommend declines, the organic marketing engine that has historically allowed Las Vegas to generate enormous visitor volume at relatively low per acquisition cost is degrading. The paid advertising has to work harder to replace the lost word of mouth. The billion-dollar budget has to grow to maintain the same volume of visitor acquisition. The room tax has to generate more revenue to fund the growing budget. The hotel rates have to increase to generate more room tax revenue. The resort fees have to increase to make the hotel economics work at the higher rate levels. The products get worse. The likelihood to recommend falls further. The cycle tightens. What a billion-dollar marketing budget cannot do is make a guest who paid for hot water and received none feel that their trip was worth the price. It cannot make a player who was charged $45 a day for amenities they could not access feel that the resort fee was a fair exchange. It cannot make a loyal Caesars Diamond member who spent 20 years building their status feel that the gutted comp program is honoring the relationship they invested in. It cannot make the Canadian who read the Reddit thread titled "Canadians respond with a strong not a chance" to Las Vegas mayor pleading for their money feel that the city has earned their return. It cannot fix the Flamingo's plumbing. It cannot restore the 3 to 2 blackjack to the main floors of the Strip casinos. It cannot bring back the experienced hosts who were laid off in the cost optimization exercises of the bankruptcy era. It cannot make Station Casino's record-breaking quarter look less like a verdict on the Strip's operating philosophy. Marketing is the story you tell about a product. The product is what people experience when the marketing has done its job and brought them through the door. Las Vegas is spending $1 billion a year telling a story about a product that its own operators have spent 15 years dismantling. You cannot advertise your way out of a product problem. You cannot brand your way past a broken door latch. You cannot sponsor enough Formula One races to make a guest forget that the minibar charged them for water they never opened. The gap between what Las Vegas is selling and what Las Vegas is delivering is not a communications problem. It is a product problem. And until the product changes, the $1 billion is not marketing a destination. It is marketing a memory. And memories, unlike marketing budgets, do not increase with investment. They fade. And Las Vegas has been living on the fading memory of a city that no longer exists and billing the visitors who come looking for it for the privilege of discovering that it is gone.